Good morning everybody, Olly Richards here, back with another rule of language learning. This is a series of videos where I reveal the golden rules of learning foreign languages. Consider this your go-to source for language learning wisdom, at least of the Olly variety. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, well, what are you waiting for? Click that big red button below so that we can get started over here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may have noticed that not everyone in the world speaks English. And thank God for that. I mean, can you imagine if we all spoke the same language? You may have also noticed that not all the languages in the world are written with the Latin alphabet, which is the alphabet we use to write English. And thank God for that too. I mean, how dull would that be if the Roman alphabet was the only thing that you saw everywhere you went? Now, the writing system for a language is referred to as the script. And for a newbie language learner, the script can often appear to be one of the most daunting things of all. Daunting not because you actually know how hard it's going to be to learn that script, but daunting because it's just a bit different to English. See, like many things in life, we are easily daunted by unfamiliar things. And so it's little wonder that one of the questions that I receive surprisingly often is, Olly, do I really have to learn the script for this new language? I mean, do I really have to learn it? Can't I just use the English equivalent transliteration thingy? This is one of those questions where there is a simple answer and a complex answer. And you know me, you're going to get both of them. So first, the simple answer. Yes, my friend, you do have to learn the script. Sorry. The reason you have to learn the script though is not actually because you can't speak the language without being able to read or write, because I've personally learned a few languages without studying the script before. The real reason you learn the script is because without being able to read, there's a glass ceiling that you can't get past in the language. If you're illiterate in the language you're learning, it stands to reason that there's only so far you can get, right? I mean, imagine if you never learned to read in your mother tongue growing up. Do you think you'd be as articulate as you are today? No way. So by avoiding learning the script, it's a classic case of short-term thinking. Less pain now for considerably more pain later. But how much pain, you might ask? Well, in many languages around the world, the script is actually pretty easy to learn. It may look unfamiliar at first, but it's actually pretty simple to learn. I mean, let's take Russian. There are 33 characters in Russian. Korean, 24. Arabic, 28. It's more or less the same as English, all of these languages. And you can learn these in a couple of weeks without breaking a sweat. Then there are those which are a bit more tricky, but still doable. So, for example, Japanese hiragana, 46 letters. Thai, 59 letters, if you count the vowel symbols as well. You can have these ones down in a month if you apply yourself. And when you think that taking the time to learn the script means that you're then able to read anything in the language, well, I mean, frankly, you'd be crazy not to do it. So just learn that script, okay? Now, as you might have guessed, it ain't always that simple. Because what happens if learning the script doesn't take a couple of weeks, but rather a couple of years? Is it still worth learning to read Chinese, for example, if it takes years to do? Shouldn't you spend your time on other things? Maybe you can learn to speak first and read later. Well, let me lay out how I see it, and then you can make up your own mind. Firstly, like we already saw, you don't need to learn to read in a new language. If all you're interested in doing is getting to a conversational level so that you can have a bit of a chat and you don't have any grander ambitions, then there's a pretty strong case for not bothering to learn the script. If it's a hard language like Chinese, you could use all the time that you would spend on learning the script to speak instead. Most people I know would agree that with this being an option at least. However, there is a counter-argument, which is this. Because learning to read a language like Chinese takes a long time, very long time, if you think that there is any chance that you'll change your mind about learning Chinese characters, learning to read Chinese in the future, maybe because you start to take your study a bit more seriously, or you want to get to higher levels, or who knows, maybe you get married and you want to up your game. If you think there's any chance of that happening, then you will absolutely kick yourself for not getting started sooner. Man, I could have been learning just one character a day for the last 2 years and I would know hundreds by now. Instead, I have to start from scratch. Now, I'm sorry to say that this was me in Japanese. Now, I speak Japanese to a pretty good level, but my reading and writing, well, it's pretty awful, I have to confess. I never took reading seriously, probably because I was naturally quite adept at speaking, so I didn't really feel much of a need to do all that other writing stuff. But I seriously regret that decision now because I'm trying to push up to higher levels and my semi-literacy in the language is really, really holding me back. If only I had done just a little bit regularly over the years, I mean, I could have been reading War and Peace by now. So to someone starting out, I would probably say, if you have even the slightest inkling that you might want to take your language seriously, then don't mess around. Learn the script from the beginning. Don't worry about how long it takes, just do it. And although it may feel hard at first, you'll be amazed just how much being able to read helps you learn the language itself. Even if learning to speak is your main aim, being able to read it will only make it quicker. And that's precisely why, for example, in our new Japanese Uncovered course, the lovely Ai-chan teaches you to read and write from the very beginning. It is the right thing to do, and it's also a lot of fun. Trust me. So now I want to hear from you. Have you learned a new script before? Which one? Was it difficult? Are you glad you learned it? Let me know in the comments below, especially if you think I've missed something here. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button beneath this video on the screen, wherever it is, and share it with anyone you know who might be struggling through a difficult new script right now. But until next time, do yourself a favor, don't mess around, just learn the script from the start. Thanks for checking out the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it and you'd like me to continue this series of the rules of language learning, then you can let me know by liking this video. Also, if you'd like to be notified when I upload new videos every week, then you can subscribe to the channel using the big red button below, and the videos will pop right up in your news feed.